Okay, it is day 8 of the 28-day ketogenic challenge. We're starting off week 2 with style. We've got
at the grocery store.
At the grocery store for our weekly hunting and gathering expedition, also known as grocery shopping. So we turn this into an adventure, right?
Yep.
Because look, it's a jungle out there, folks. You got to know how to navigate. There's stuff coming at you from every different direction. There's packaged foods. There's
colors.
There's artificial ingredients and
colors,
preservatives and
colors
and problems, right?
Things food that say, dye. They say,
look at me, look at me. Right? They beckon us.
Take me home.
Right.
Yes.
Best rule of thumb, and you'll notice. Okay, by the way, if you have not signed up for the challenge yet, you still got time to do that. It's an ongoing 3-month challenge. After the 28 days, we're going to do another 28 days. So don't feel like it's all or nothing. Just jump in at any time. You can do a full 28 days from the time you start. I will send you the 28-day meal plan with recipes, exactly how to cook and prepare all of this stuff. And it's all macroed out, counted out. The calories are there. The grams of fat, carbs, protein is all adhering to the ketogenic guidelines. But I wanted to say, if you notice the way the shopping guides are laid out, you may have heard this advice before to shop the perimeter of the grocery store. So if you think about what's on the outside of the grocery store, produce, meat, seafood, eggs, dairy, butter, okay?
Skip the bakery section.
Right.
It's also
we skip the bakery. That's true. That is an exception. But other than the bakery, it's all real food, okay? Now, what's up and down the aisles of the grocery store?
Junk food.
Junk food. Packaged, processed.
Yep.
Cereal, cookie, cracker, chips. What else is out there? Canned foods.
Canned foods.
Pasta.
Yes, pasta.
There are a few things that are up and down the aisles, like spices. And aluminum foil. That's the main thing we buy to grill with. That's the main thing we duck in. But for the most part, we tend to stay on the outside where the real food is located. That is the problem with the standard American diet. It's built on a foundation of grains because grains are super profitable for the food manufacturers. They last forever on the shelf. They can be turned into all types of processed foods that have addictive properties. They're engineered with that thought process in mind to get you hooked on the product. And what's the first thing you do when you finish eating some type of processed food? You want more of it because there's no nutrients, okay? So if you're out there listening, I'm trying to transition you from the Cheeto diet to the keto diet, okay? Now, keto's under a lot of scrutiny. People say, no, don't do it. It's dangerous. It'll clog your arteries and give you heart disease and all this other nonsense, okay? The reason why that's such a popular idea...
That was a good choice that she made.
Yeah. Oh, somebody just ducked in and bought some corn chips. Yes. The reason why is being vilified in the mainstream media. Who controls the airwaves? The food companies and the big pharmaceutical companies pay for all the advertising. They get to control the message, and the narrative is don't do anything that's going to empower people to take charge of their own health. Just follow the guidelines. It's all been laid out for you. Processed food is no more problematic than whole natural food. It's all about calories. Just limit the amount of calories you consume.
I think that is a whole other thing, rabbit hole for another.
It is a rabbit hole.
Yes.
What's on the menu today?
Oh, yes.
For the week. So we got, if you've noticed, the dinner for each night, the lunch for the next day is a planned leftover from the previous night's dinner. So you get 2 for 1 when you make these recipes. You get 2 times you're going to eat out.
And the shopping list gives you enough ingredients to make that much food.
That's right.
To have it leftovers for the next meal. Right. So this week we have a patty melt salad. I love salads. Okay. Salmon with coleslaw. Now, I was actually thinking before I even saw this that I wanted to make some salmon patties this week.
Here's your chance.
Now we'll modify that recipe a little bit to make sure that we keep some of the carbs out that are the binding agents for that recipe, but we'll still have salmon.
Yeah, you can substitute your crunched pork rinds for breadcrumbs. That's an easy substitution. All right, go ahead.
Breadcrumbs for pork rinds.
Substitute pork rinds instead of breadcrumbs.
Right, exactly. And then fajita bowl. Now, I love fajitas. That's a whole nother thing we won't talk about.
Oh, yeah. No, that is a rabbit hole. A big one.
Mushroom pizza, cheese steak, peppers.
How can you have pizza on a keto diet?
It is a stuffed mushroom pizza.
Oh,
so
okay.
you use the mushroom as the crust, I suppose.
What else?
Right? And then this BLTA wrap. Now my the A in this is my favorite. It's the avocado. I love avocado.
We love avocados. You missed one.
BLTA. Oh, what did I miss? Cheesesteak, peppers, Philly cheesesteak. I
think that's stuffed bell peppers. I looked ahead a little bit. So the shopping list has all the ingredients, like you said, is all the ingredients you need. And if there's something on there you don't like, look, just make something similar.
Chicken kebabs. Yeah. That's what I missed. And I do love chicken.
I thought you said that. Well, anyway, here's the point I was trying to get. I'll read off a list like this to people, and they'll hear all of that, and they'll say, well, I don't like mushrooms. Well, just don't eat the mushrooms then. Like, that's, what about the other 90% of good stuff on there?
Yep.
So bottom line with the ketogenic diet, it's not what you've heard. It's not just bacon and mayonnaise. Those things are technically keto because they are high in fat, but we're talking about quality nutrition. We're talking about getting adequate protein, not excessive protein. We're talking about getting heart healthy fats like monounsaturated fats from nuts and seeds and low sugar fruit like avocados and olives.
I love avocados.
Right, things that our body needs and thrives on, and limiting the amount of carbohydrate. Okay, vegetables contain some carbohydrate, but it's fibrous, so it's not going to impact your blood sugar. It's not a total ban on anything resembling a carbohydrate. It's trying to limit the worst ones, flour, sugar being prime examples. Any type of grains, processed or whole, and even the high sugar fruit you want to limit temporarily going into it. Same feedback I get when I rattle off that list. People say, oh, there's no fruit. How can it be healthy if there's no fruit? Well, the way we've got this thing structured, there are opportunities to eat the carb meals on the weekends in your refeed window. You've got a dinner and a dessert, maybe a lunch, dinner, and dessert, depending on how good your results are. You can do that once or twice on the weekends and then get right back into this ketogenic state. So I'm on a mission to prove the keto diet is not an all or nothing 100% from now on for the rest of your life. You're never going to touch carbs again. We all know that you will. So go ahead and build it into the program. Be ready to temporarily go off track. That's what gives you the resolve to stay on track the other 80-90% of the time. That's been my experience. So what are you thinking about the recipes so far? We did last week. We got some good meals up there.
Oh, and we got that meat too, the ground beef.
Right.
We have to talk about that.
We saved a ton of money because we bought $100 worth of ground beef last week. We got how many? 20 pounds, right?
20 pounds.
Yeah, incredible. We caught a sale, so yeah, be on the lookout for
And it was the good ground beef. It wasn't the fatty ground beef. It was like the high quality.
Yeah, it was like 96.4. It was very, very lean.
Yes.
That's the optimal hunter-gatherer or human diet, is lean protein, fibrous plant materials with very low amounts of carbohydrate in natural form. You're going to have less frequently, but they're still part of the program. That's the key. It's not a total ban or restriction. It's just limit that, because look, long time ago, we're out hunting and gathering out in the wild with a spear like we're about to do right now. I'm gonna bring my spear to the grocery store one day.
Oh, that's right. I got you a spear. If you were at the 50th, you saw the spear.
So somebody get my bail money together in case I do have to spend some time in the local county jail for doing that little publicity stunt. I don't know if you're allowed to bring a spear to the grocery store, but we'll see.
Be careful with that one.
When we were out hunting and gathering centuries ago, eons ago, every once in a while we would come across some ripe fruit in season, or maybe blackberries or something like that growing in the wild, or maybe dig up a tuber like some type of wild potato, something starchy, or find a beehive and get some honey. We're wired to eat as much of that as we can and store it in the muscle as glycogen for future use. And then if we overfill that, we can just store it as fat. We can use that later for energy. So limit the frequency and amount of those types of foods. Prioritize the good nutrients and the good tasting stuff too. Okay. Who doesn't love, fresh hamburger? I mean, come on. I eat bacon cheeseburgers like there's no tomorrow.
Lily does too. And I was actually just thinking about some of our viewers who might have children and think, oh, I can't do this. My child would never eat this. Well,
you can modify it.
Our child eats pretty much the same things we do. She absolutely loves avocado.
She's 5 years old.
She will scoop that avocado out and ask for more.
With sprinkles on
With
it.
sprinkles.
Himalayan salt sprinkle.
And
sprinkles.
Mrs. Dash, those are her sprinkles. She eats the same hamburgers that you do. She'll come home and ask for a hang-a-burger.
Hang-a-burger, yeah.
Hang-a-burger. And the tacos with the low carb wraps that we make.
Right. Yeah, it's totally kid friendly.
Yeah.
And that's a true test.
And you can modify it too.
You can.
Yeah.
That's the true test of whether something is actually good or not. If kids like it, if they'll eat it, you know it's got to be good, because kids will tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even say, hey, what do you think about my haircut? And they'll say, oh, that's jacked up. Like, that doesn't look good, right?
Not exactly like that.
Well, kids will tell you, like,
Lily would
she wouldn't say that.
She'd say, oh, no, Daddy, that's the worst haircut ever.
Kids will tell you like it is. And if it's not good, they're going to spit it out and want something else, right? So anyway, just the fact that she eats the way we do, that's a win in my book. She's not full-blown keto or carnivore. She does, have a little bit of this and that. But our live video, Lily popped in and told everybody that cereal and sugar should just be limited to like 1 day a week. Right? She knows that at 5 years old.
On Saturday, yes.
Yeah, she said cereal Saturday. And after that, it's over. Back on, back on plan for the week, right? So she understands sometimes foods.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, cool. Anything else you wanted to mention today while we're
I did want to ask you about these little things that we're standing beside.
Farm Chris?
Yes. Talk to me about those, because they're made out of cheese, so they seem like they would be relatively okay.
It's okay. It's about equal protein and fat. You got 13 grams of protein and 11 grams of fat, so slightly higher in protein compared to the amount of fat. No carbs at all. Okay, so this definitely fits the keto mold.
So if you want something crunchy and salty and like a chip that you just can't live without your chips, this might be a good alternative, right?
Yeah. Being that it does have equal amount of energy and protein, it's not going to be something that you would want to build on or have like a substantial amount of, but a little handful. If you can limit the serving size, so I would take the 5 servings in this container and I would measure those out and put them in little baggies so that you don't just reach into the big bag and just eat as much as you want. You might tend to overdo it.
So is this something that I could scoop up some hummus?
Yeah, it's like a cracker, like a low carb cracker. Okay. Absolutely. Why don't you throw those in the basket and let's show the people what we got.
I like the everything ones because they're a little more.
Flip this video around so we can read it.
They're a little more flavorful than just the plain ones. So, and I love hummus too. So.
Parmesan cheese. It's got a little flaxseed in there. Poppy seeds. Okay. Dried garlic and onion. So real simple list of ingredients, all whole food. I would definitely give that a thumbs up. The plain one here just has Parmesan cheese, Romano cheese, Asiago, provolone. It's all just milk, salt, and enzymes. So there's nothing questionable. There's nothing with 20 syllables that you can't pronounce. And
so I can have some of this with hummus?
That would be A-okay on the plan, absolutely. Okay. Cool. All right, so we'll try that out and see what you think about that combo. Jump in the challenge, folks, if you haven't done it yet. I'm putting up $500 grand prize.
Did y'all see me look at him?
Yes, prize package. It's not cash. You're going to get a supplement regimen, our Foundations protocol from Designs for Health, custom engineered to your specific goals. That's going to entitle you to a couple of consultations where we can go in depth with a holistic lifestyle analysis and figure out exactly what you would benefit most from as far as training, nutrition, mindset, supplementation, all the key factors, and a couple of personal training sessions for my local clients or even by remote. If you're not in the Atlanta area or you can't get to the Atlanta area, by the way, we're about 20 minutes away from the busiest airport in the world. So conceivably anyone could work with me in person. Okay, you're talking about an Uber ride from the airport. It's nothing. Just to come to where we are, get your numbers checked, get some program going on so you have an idea of how to do the exercise. It is not too far-fetched to think anybody from anywhere could work with me in person, but we can always do it by remote, okay? And that's in the modern world, that's kind of the preferred way of doing things. There's something to be said about that face-to-face interaction with a real live person. You know, I made the mention this week, there's some AI tools getting rolled out online. I will not be taking advantage of those. When you have a question or comment for our Facebook group specifically, you're going to get a real answer from a real person who really cares. I've been there. I know the struggle. Trust me, the struggle is real. I understand. And the struggle can really be overcome if you have the right information and you know exactly what you're trying to accomplish, when and how, who's going to help you, who's on your team. That's what we're all about, is building up that dynamic to help people to create a revolution against the powers that be that are trying to suppress people. I believe trying to suppress us and keep us dependent and keep us in this low state. We want to realize our apex version of ourselves. We want to be the best we can possibly be. That starts with stocking up on your groceries every week, making a decision of what you're going to do in advance rather than waiting until you're starving to make a food decision. Okay? So this is your first step towards creating a better outcome in the next 7 days. Decide what you're going to eat, when you're going to do it, how you're going to prepare everything, and then enjoy the ride. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all for today. You got something?
No, I think next week we should not film in the bakery section because I love bread and this is very difficult for me. You can smell it.
Okay.
But I was also thinking that there's some salami over there. I could put some salami on those little parm crisps with some.
She's hungry. We're fasting today.
We are.
I got another 4 hours probably to go or more, but maybe you'll wrap up at the 18-hour mark. I don't know. You're about 16 hours right now. So
I slept for 12 hours, so yeah.
That's true, you did. That part of it was easy.
It was good sleep.
Yeah, oh yeah. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and shut it down. Follow along with the challenge. I'll be posting here every day, and we've got a leaderboard going. We got some people that are in the running for the top prize already, but it's not too late for you to jump in. So that's all for today.
Bye.
Thanks.